Today we're talking about the Victorinox SD. You know, I personally do not like a whole bunch of stuff on my keychain, and though this seems like a lot, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's probably double the amount of things on there. Everything on my keychain when it comes to these tools, they constantly evolve. They come, they go, sometimes I keep it, it breaks, doesn't matter. The one thing that's always stayed the same, that's always been there, is this little guy. This is the Victorinox Classic SD, or SD Classic, however you want to say it. It's a multi-tool for your keys. I've had this, actually a buddy of mine gave this to me about, I want to say 6 or 8 years ago, and it's never left my keychain. So let's dive right into the review. I'll zoom in because this guy is real tiny and we want to get a closer look at it. All right, we're pretty zoomed in right now because this thing is pretty darn small. It's 2.2 inches long. That's how long it is. It's not even as long as my finger. Now I do have large hands, but it's, you know, for good reason. It's supposed to belong in a keychain. There's a lot of keychain tools out there now that are made out of all metal, usually titanium, so it's lighter weight, but they're too big, they're too heavy, and they just don't fit the bill. This one does. And we'll dive into the tools first and then discuss why it's actually probably one of the best keychain multi-tools out there. So first, from the bottom to the top, we have two little tabs here. We have a gray one and a yellowish tan one. I think it probably yellowed more over the years. The first one, which is the gray tab, is tweezers. Not the greatest tweezers out there, but it will do the job. And you know, they're just tweezers. Again, not the highest quality, but they get the job done. On the other side, the yellowish one is a toothpick. Now this one I think is the funniest one. Now, though I have to say I do carry a titanium toothpick on my keychain. It's not an out of this world concept to me to have a toothpick on me, but I personally never use this one. It just seems kind of, I don't know. The titanium one is just more superior. I mean, it's just when you use the titanium toothpick, it's superior. But it's quite nice to have a toothpick around. Like I said, I use the titanium one, but it's nice to know that my little tiny Victorinox has this plastic toothpick there. So also fits nice and securely in the scales as well. Flipping over to the front side of it, you have the Victorinox logo right there on the black scales. And now you can get these in so many different colors. You can get the classic red. This is the black. Again, someone gifted this to me, and I actually really like the black version. If I were to get another one, it probably would be the classic red. And you know, I'm not too sure, but I'm really curious if they make this in the A-locks. You know, the aluminum, the knurled aluminum. This is the Victorinox Cadet, by the way, everyone's favorite Swiss Army knife. That's just the size comparison there. You could see that right there. So this thing is really, really small, but I wonder if they make the SD Classic with these aluminum scales. That would be interesting. That would be pretty cool. Leave a comment below if you know that they make this SD Classic with those aluminum scales. That would be pretty cool. But these are just their plastic black scales. They get the job done. They keep the tools in place. And it's not entirely scratch resistant, but it doesn't really need to be, right? It's just a plastic scale and the logo still looks pretty cool. The first tool we're going to go to, which for a lot of people that get this, it's probably the one that's the selling point for them, is the scissors. Now these scissors, though extremely tiny, are insanely useful. I've used these scissors so many times, more than I can count. And a lot of times, even though I carry a knife every day, there's certain jobs that are better suited for scissors than it is for a knife. Though the knife can get it done, it's better to have scissors. And yeah, there's a lot of multi-tools like Leatherman's that have scissors out there, but to have a tool on your keys that usually is always on you is quite nice to have. And they're nice, and I don't think I've ever sharpened these. And again, I've had this thing for 8 years, and I've used it whenever I've needed to use this tiny tool, which is quite a lot, and I've never sharpened them. So it's really nice that it has scissors, and it takes up the entire side of the tool. So this entire right side, if we're looking at it from face, is all scissors. The next side is we have two tools. The next one is the blade. Super tiny, super skinny. It's a 2-inch blade, modified drop point, almost at a spear point design. Also, all these tools are made with the Victorinox stainless steel that is just amazing, always sharp. Do have to touch it up every once in a while, but the corrosion resistance is amazing. And it's really just, you know, it's a great letter opener, box opener. It's a great utility knife. There is a blade on here, and it does exactly what it needs to do. Cut things. The last tools, it's the last tool that has multiple tools on here, is this little guy. It's a nail file with a flathead. Now, I think I may have used this nail file maybe, I don't know if I've ever used a nail file. For some people, this may come in handy to have a nail file. I think I may have used it once or twice. But you got a nail file on there. Now for the flathead, I've had to use this quite a lot because it's such a small flathead, and usually the flatheads on multi-tools like the Leathermans or the Gerbers, they're a lot bigger, the bits, and so this one has come in handy quite a lot. So that's two tools in this one bar. You really get what you pay for. For the grand price of $20, you can't ask for more. You also get the name, you know, Victorinox, and what does that mean? It means quality. They just feel like a tool that's there when you need it, especially for something like this that weighs less than an ounce and is super tiny. Like I said, it's there when you need it, and it's kind of like it's not there when you don't. So it's a tool perfect little tool, and it does what it does. It's nothing too great, and it's not bad. So it's that kind of in between. I do recommend it just personally because I've had it for so long, but I do know there's other keychain multi-tools out there that are great. But for me personally, I'm sticking with this one. If you guys have any keychain multi-tools or not on your key ring, leave a comment below on what it is. But this is the review of the Victorinox SD Classic or Classic SD. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, stay safe out there.